Hey guys, how you doing? Right here again. If you'd like to subscribe, it's Nitrokyosho. For anybody wondering, due to certain reasons, I got rid of my Facebook account, guys. So there's no longer a Nitrokyosho community page. There really wasn't anything there that was anything different than what I'm doing here on the camera. So it was just more or less of a link to help people find it. I didn't want to get rid of it, but I did want to get rid of my Facebook. And that was connected to it. So unfortunately it's gone, but like I said, anything that was there you're going to see on the Nitrokyosho YouTube channel. So anyways, let's get started here. I'm glad and I'm happy a lot of guys are back out flying. Some of my buddies have got back into it, which is a great thing. I've been getting a lot more activity on the channel, which means a lot of people are getting back into helicopters, and that's a great thing. I keep trying to make videos to help people, educate people, keep people in the hobby, get new people in the hobby, because it really is a nice hobby. So anyways, I cranked up the head speed to this thing. It's basically running like more than it should, like a 2400 head speed. And I wanted to come up with a way to make it a little bit more rigid, and I definitely did. I will show you what I did here, and we'll talk a little bit about it. It's just a very simple mod, and it has to do with these struts. Basically what I did was, on one set of the struts, I reinforced them by taking right here, as a matter of fact, I'll show you guys, by simply taking black thread and wrapping it curiously around the end of the strut and the carbon rod, and then going over it with super glue, Loctite. And then once I did that, and I have a video on that, and once I did that, I put heat shrink tube over it and heat shrink it just to make it look a little bit nicer. I have a brace in here. Okay, a strut brace that's really more or less recommended for the nitros for vibration, but I did put one on here, and I actually doubled up the struts and then zip tied it and made this really a lot more rigid back here. So this is, I'm sure this is the most rigid Trex 700X out there. It's kind of a cool mod by me. I'm always trying to think outside the box. It doesn't add any weight. I mean, these things are like feather weight. And if it did, you'd be seeing it go like this, which it's not. You know, it'd be much tail heavy. So let me try to get this thing off of the pod here without screwing it up. And I'll show you what I did here, guys. So that is where you can see on the inner one, or I was talking about wrapping the thread. And you're pretty much wrapping the thread from the plastic part onto the carbon rod. And once you get a good amount on there, don't go crazy, but a decent amount, then you super glue over the top of it to freeze up the thread, and then once it dries, you can put heat shrink tube over it. The outside ones don't have it. That is the brace in there, and I basically just doubled up the struts, and it is a lot more rigid. This thing doesn't even move now. Now where this brace is here, I also put two zip ties. If you can, I'm sorry, everything is black here, guys. So, but there's two zip ties actually holding it from holding this one onto that one up against here. Now, if you don't want the strut brace here to move, what I do is take a little of the same gray, like 3M tape that you would use to hold down a flybarless unit or other stuff. And I don't think, you might be able to see a little bit sticking out there. If you put that in there on all 4 points, a little piece, this will never ever move. I see some guys at the field where the thing slides down here and slides up there. You really need to put something on there. Okay, but there's a good shot of it. Dual struts, Trex 700X. Once again, thinking outside the box, over-engineering, re-engineering. But this is really a phenomenal, incredible helicopter. And it's just an absolute beast out of the box. It really is. For $1,600, you know, you get your fly barless controller. You get a 200 amp hobby wing. You get killer high torque servos. You get the big motor in there, the 850 powerful motor. And I think unlike some of the other companies, they just make it easier. They give you one pinion choice. That's it. It's made to run optimum with that. And you don't have to go screwing around with different pinions. And I got tail wag, and I got too low ahead or too high, blah, blah, blah. With other companies out there that I've dealt with. It's just a simple, very simple, and the thing just flies, and it's a beast. I mean, you know, there's other companies you're going to pay a lot more for, whether it's just because they look nicer, more style, or artsy while they're flying in the air. But for this money, this is the absolute best buy, absolute beast. I'll give you a quick story, guys. I was flying down at where I used to fly at the school a couple years ago, and I didn't have this model at the time. I had the 700, the DFC, I think it was still, it was the Dominator, it was called then, or the 700L, I think it was called. And somebody came down there, something happened, kind of pissed me off, and the next time I went up to fly, I was flying very pissed off and very angry, which I shouldn't have been, and I was doing a pirouetting type inverted circle very fast, where you're flying inverted and you're going around in circles, but you're pirouetting from tail forward to nose forward, tail forward. And I just got up there and I ripped that thing about 100 miles an hour. And I had an old B-Stex on it, and I just whipped the tail around, which I shouldn't have. No fly barless unit is going to be able to handle that at 100 miles an hour. And the B-Stex froze up and it just went down and smashed. Not one servo, and I repeat, not one servo stripped on that thing after smashing into the ground. And crazy, the frame was intact. The servos were intact. The blades got wrecked. The boom got wrecked. I think one strut broke, one pipe bent, the canopy got wrecked. You know, obviously the torque tube in there. I don't even think the strut, one of the struts might have broke, but it was, for what it happened, incredible how it survived. And this model is built, the frame is built even better. So you can say what you want about a line, but they are tough, tough, tough helicopters. And they're absolute beasts right out of the box with no upgrading needed. So that's my little video here on this guy. I absolutely love it. If they make another version of this, I think I'll be very excited. And I'm sure there's one around the corner because this one's been out a few years now. But dual strut design, there you go, guys. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching.